This is the new sports version of the VW T Roc, the T Roc R. Want to take a look at it? Let's go. The T Roc R features a unique front grille in a comp style here. Also LED headlamps are standard equipment, and the LED daytime running light, which in a normal T Roc is a circle right here, is also a little bit different, together with this Golf R inspired lower contrasting area with bigger air intakes. 4.23 meters, 13'9" or 166 inches is the length of the T Roc. It's also the same, of course, in the T Roc R. You got some sporty styling elements like the R badge here, then the contrasting mirror caps as well as chrome frames around the upper part of the window. Again, you can see that this lapis blue color has different blue nuances, very beautiful. The wheels you can either get in 18-inch as standard. Those ones here are the optional 19-inch in dark matte. The 18-inch would be black on the outer parts and like more shiny silver part on the top part. They are also available then for the Golf R, for example. Very interesting that you also get bigger brakes, 17-inch discs right there. And also a very nice detail, look at that, here a metal knurling around the pin of the air intake here. Really nice detail and adds to a quality feeling. The rear has a modern light signature, and the R version also features the sporty badge, as well as a contrasting lower bumper. You can see here this diffuser style. The exhaust, it already is basically a sporty exhaust, but then the one you see here is the optional Akrapovic exhaust. Yeah, for the Golf R it's almost 4,000 euros extra, so really expensive. Of course you get more sound. You've already listened to the prototype vehicle we filmed earlier outside to the sound of the T Roc R. So yes, if you want more sound, you can go for it, but you really have to think about if you want to invest that that extra price. We'll soon talk also about the total price of this car, which will also be very interesting. The biggest extra price you pay is for this engine. It's a 2-liter TSI turbo petrol engine. And so far the 2-liter TSI was also available, but not in this horsepower spec. This one in here with 300 horsepower, 400 Newton meters of torque, and the expected acceleration figure is 4.9 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. The car key has a small R badge right there. Of course, there's also keyless entry available. You can close the car when you put your hand on there and open the car when you put your hand inside, if you went for that option. Then, inside of the doors, this is something a lot of people had wished that they used then soft touch material here in the R version, which is way more expensive. But here also in this R version of the T Roc, you get the hard plastic at the inside of the doors. Special design for the T Roc R. You can see they have fabric on the main seating area, have enough room, but then have more shoulder support, for example, together with Alcantara inserts. And they also visually seem to have an integrated head restraint, but that's just when it's in the lowest position. You can also put them up if you're a little bit taller. This is the interior overview. There again you can see this matte blue style. There you can also hear that it is a matte material, and I think it's actually welcome to me as an difference to all of the high glossy black stuff. We can still find it here though. Then again, a look at this steering wheel and all digital clusters right there, left and right. The base infotainment system for a T Roc would be 6.5. This one is the optional 8-inch screen, but it still features those knobs for volume and also for zooming in the map. I really like that because it's easier to use while driving the vehicle. The digital instruments are very clear to read, and the advantage is that you're flexible. You can have a map view in there, a little bit bigger. Use the view here, then you can have the map all over the place. That is then better in your field of view as a driver. Or you can also have some audio or telephone information in there, or some consumption figures. You can see we have the base climate unit here. Of course, there's also the automatic AC available, where you then see the temperature right there in a small display when you change it. But also when you go for it like this, it works quite well. This is the driving mode selector, for example, for snowy conditions, that you have some more power on the rear axle, for example, and throttle input reduction, or for off-roading, that the ESC is drawn back a little bit, that you have a little bit more wheel spin. And then you can also go in the so-called race mode. And the race mode then trims everything to sportiness. For example, also the shifting, that the gears are turned up later or also shifted down earlier, and so on. As for the rear seats, you can see they have the same sporty design. They're basically formed like two single seats. It has a registration also for the third seat there in the middle, but you can see it's way higher and also stiffer on that leatherette. And there's also this middle tunnel. Then for the all-wheel drive, you can see it down there, together with another 12-volt power supply. So it's not that comfortable to sit in the middle then. However, the outside seats offer you both, again, comfort and sportiness. You can see it does fit exactly for 4 tall adults. So it comes quite close, but it exactly fits basically. Also with the headroom. Got some more headroom left right there. Now what about the hatch? There is also an electric tailgate available. This very vehicle is not equipped with that yet, but you can see there up there is also a blind button where it would be applied. So it's an option you can go for. We already had a T Roc with the electric tailgate. Then you got quite some square dimensions. You can just see, due to the sporty design here of the rear window, you lose a little bit of height in the rear. Below here you can also fit a replacement tire, and what's also handy that you can fix that one up right there. First of all, such a beautiful color. I would take it directly in this very color, of course. From the interior blue, I found it great that it is matte and not like this, shiny glossy stuff as always. But then again, it would even be better when it would match the exterior color here. But then again, it's really hard to have a matte color matching a metallic color. Yeah, so pros and cons about that. The interior, well, there has those two downsides, that the dashboard and the inside of the doors is hard packed plastic. It should be, for the price of the vehicle, I think a little bit better, like in the Golf, for example. Then again, everything else is very well done. Also really lovely seats with a good compromise of sportiness and comfort. Again, you have a little bit more higher seating position than in the Golf R. That would be speaking for that. And of course, if you just want this SUV touch. The T Roc in general, if you think about the SUV lineup from Volkswagen, we had this big comparison test, and we found that this one here was the SUV that was most fun to drive from their SUV lineup. So it's really promising, and also what Benny Leuchter told us at the racetrack with the prototype vehicle, that it really comes very close to a Golf R as for driving that one. Well, price-wise, we can expect something 40,000 euros as for a German price. It's supposed to be a little bit less expensive than the Golf R. Well, a usual T Roc you can also boost up to, way above 30,000. So there's, of course, still some more extra price for this performance engine then. For a compact SUV is expensive, yes, but then if you compare it also to other, performance cars, then it's not that expensive anymore. Yeah, you have to make up your mind about that yourself. So, what do you think here about the new Volkswagen T Roc R? I think a very interesting approach. Why not putting it with the SUV, combining somehow performance and comfort? I think it will work quite well, and of course, even better when we can drive this car very soon. We will keep you updated with this. Thank you so much for tuning in.